What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. A few days ago, we got a very exciting announcement from Six Flags. They announced a brand new B&M dive coaster at their Fiesta, Texas location called Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. And just for humor reasons, I'll call it Doofenshmirtz Incorporated from now on. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. This was a big deal, and here's why. B&M and Six Flags haven't worked together since 2011 when they added X-Flight at Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. That's the last B&M they added, and 10 years have gone by. And let's just say, a lot has gone in the coaster industry. Six Flags Fiesta Texas announcement was pretty big, and pretty surprising to, I'd say, everyone. Six Flags is under new ownership, as some of you may have known, and has a new CEO as of 2019. Which means this is probably one of the first roller coasters that he originally planned on, because it does take 1 or 2 years to get from planning to announcement. So, the question remains, are they going to continue to work with B&M, or are they going to find alternatives? And if they do keep working with B&M, what parks are these B&Ms going to go to? Well, this is Cedar Flags, and I'll be answering that question today. Will Six Flags continue to work with B&M? So, let's answer this question. Will they continue to work with B&M? Of course, I don't have a definite answer, but I'm here to speculate. So, I have a few reasons why they would continue to, and why they wouldn't. The first positive reason I have is that Six Flags has added some pretty big coasters in the recent past, like Max Force at Great America. Now, this isn't a B&M, it is an S&S, but it ended up costing around $15 million. While some of these smaller dive coasters, like Dr. Diabolical or Doofenshmirtz or whatever, will cost around $16 to $20 million. I guarantee this thing won't cost more than $23 million. That's for sure. Long gone are the days where Six Flags will add something that's almost $30 million, but maybe they want to get a little more expensive than, let's say, 10 or 15. And second off, Six Flags once again is under new ownership. Would they rather get something like Max Force, which might break down a few times and has a bunch of components, or a nice, reliable capacity machine like a short B&M that the GP will absolutely love? In my one video, I said this is probably going to be the GP's new favorite at the park, and as a capacity machine with long lines, well, that's going to work out perfectly. I could also see Six Flags go back to their $10 million investments, like RMC roller coasters, which don't cost any more than, let's say, $12 million, but at the same time, I think they would have a better bet in B&M because B&M sells more, and the GP overall like B&M more than RMC. And while coaster enthusiasts might disagree, the GP is like 95% of the audience at these parks. This might be the model of Six Flags' new CEO, because there is a new CEO in office as of 2019, and this might be his business plan. Now, he could invest half of the money on something like an RMC, but like I said, the GP like B&M more. So maybe he'll invest a little more money within the park's profits to satisfy some parks with B&Ms. Mainly parks that don't have a massive B&M collection, but let's be honest, most of the big Six Flags parks do have B&Ms on their side. So I wanted to talk about some reasons why Six Flags might not invest in B&M. Like I said, I couldn't see a B&M coming to a park like Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is absolutely loaded with B&Ms. I mean, they have a B&M stand-up, they have a B&M floorless, they have a B&M invert, they have a B&M flyer, and especially Six Flags Great Adventure, which has the biggest B&M collection in the world. But there are some other parks I could see them going to, but at the same time, I mean, Six Flags does have a lot of B&Ms already. A big reason I could not see them working with B&M is because the purchase for Dr. Doofenshmirtz's might be made before COVID-19. And talking about COVID-19, the audiences that dropped in parks in 2020, it's extremely severe. I don't know about the Six Flags attendance reports, but most amusement parks in America say that this was the worst season since the Great Depression, and only about a tenth of the real audience showed up due to both capacity and safety reasons. So that leaves me to believe that all these park manufacturers and companies have less money than they did at the beginning. So though a lot of people are saying this is impressive because it's right after a pandemic, let me just say that this ride was probably purchased before the whole pandemic started. Keep in mind these rides are purchased years in advance to the announcement. But for new additions, they're gonna have to deal with that pandemic money. And I really hope that the amusement industry as a whole bounces back and companies like Six Flags do have the money to put some of these high capacity rides in their parks. Now, let's look at Dr. Diabolical. That ride isn't massive. It's not Valraven or Yukon Striker and nowhere close to something like Fury or Orion. It's 150 feet tall, 2,500 feet in length, and looking at the stats, it's a much smaller B&M than some of these others. I don't see Six Flags investing in anything too massive, but I could see a pretty small scale collection of rides. Something like a smaller wing coaster or a smaller dive coaster. And here's when I get into this discussion. I want to talk about some Six Flags parks that I could see getting a new B&M, even though they might have a collection of existing B&Ms. And since I do think that it could be a possibility that they could add some more of these B&Ms, let's get right into the possibilities. Now, the first park I thought about when it comes to adding a new B&M is Six Flags New England. Now, can you wonder why? They just removed Goliath off of their website and the ride is closed as of right now. We are almost confirming that the ride is closed for good and they will be tearing it down. With low ridership and very bad maintenance, well, let's just say this ride wasn't a really good fit for this park. And a lot of people would consider it one of their least favorite coasters, if not their least favorite. Now, I think a B&M dive the size of something like Dr. Diabolical would be a miracle at this park. Now, land would be extremely tight, but imagine them placing a B&M dive machine in the place of Goliath. It would be compact, it would be short, but it would draw in the GP like crazy. This park already has an elite coaster collection, and this would honestly just add on to that. This would be such a good addition, and to be completely honest, if I was in charge of this, I would definitely put something like that here. It would be once again a capacity machine, a GP favorite with that one trick gimmick, and something that a lot of enthusiasts would love. This would be such a good fit here, and I cannot recommend this enough. Please do this, Six Flags. But anyway, the next park I want to talk about is Six Flags Mexico. Six Flags Mexico is already stacked with some of the best rides at a Six Flags park. You have Medusa Steel Coaster, which many people consider one of the best RMCs at a Six Flags park. And then you have Superman El Ultimo Escape, which many people consider the best Morgan Hyper on Earth. And that's counting Phantom's Revenge. The ride looks like it has some great airtime along with Medusa, and that makes a great airtime duo. Now, what they need? A nice, smooth airtime machine with inversions. And I think a dive coaster would be great with that. Focusing more on inversions than airtime, Dr. Diabolical has a pretty good collection of inversions, even though there's only 2. It does their job at flipping you upside down. This at Six Flags Mexico would be such a good idea. There's no dive coaster around it, and there's no B&M around it either. This would be such a unique coaster and provide in the crowds. Now, where could I see this in the park? I could see it near the River Rapids ride they have, and near the front of the park, but not too far from the front of the park. I feel like this would be the best GP pick at the park, and I really feel like this would be the GP favorite if it were added. Now, I want to talk about one more. I really wanted to figure out a third spot for this list, and this one might be a little bit of a stretch, but hear me out. Six Flags Over Georgia, and a launched B&M wing, something like Thunderbird at Holiday World. Six Flags Over Georgia already has a phenomenal collection of B&Ms. They have a hypercoaster in Goliath, a flying coaster in Superman, an inverted coaster in Batman the Ride, and a stand-up coaster in Georgia Scorcher, which many people consider the best stand-up coaster still operating. They're one of the largest parks in the country without a launch coaster at all. It honestly kind of shocks me that they don't. They have just about everything but a launch coaster, and a modern B&M. So imagine this, a B&M launched wing. I feel like this would be the best fit at this park, and when it comes to location, I could see it being put in between Wicked Cyclone and Ultimate Flight, having a nice secluded location in the woods, while being at a very crowded Six Flags park. Like I said over and over again, this would be a capacity machine, and provide a nice unique experience for the area. Now, the reason I don't think they would add a dive coaster is 1, I don't think they'd miss that opportunity on a launch, and second of all, Daredevil Dive isn't a B&M dive, and it really isn't even considered a dive, but with the name and the holding break before the drop, I feel like a lot of the GP would confuse the two, and that ride would lose ridership. It's a very unique roller coaster, and many people either love it or hate it, but if they added a B&M dive machine, it would just crush Daredevil Dive out of the water. So when it comes to something coming over Georgia, I could see a B&M, but a B&M wing instead of a B&M dive. Well, that was my video. I hope you enjoyed. I wanted to get a little speculative in this video, but not too much. I think I proved my point across pretty well. I think I know what I want at these Six Flags parks, but I'm not 100% sure. I wanted to do a more realistic approach, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think they'll continue to work with B&M, or do you think that they will scrap B&M and do other manufacturers? Where do you think the new B&Ms will come if they continue to work with them? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, this is Cedar Flags, and I'll see you all later.